Studies show that emotional stress and suppressed expression directly impact your breathing, your heart rhythm, and tension held through the upper body muscles. In Chinese medicine, the heart governs emotional clarity and connection, while the lungs relate to grief, boundaries, and the ability to let go. So in this practice, we'll activate these systems by using the breath, self-massage, acupressure, and awareness. And this will help you to soften any protective tension, breathe more fully, and reconnect with a sense of calm presence and emotional clarity and connection. Through this practice, you can notice the connection between strength and ease, effort and presence, which means this practice is more than just about your shoulders or your chest. It's really about cultivating space, groundedness, and openness through your heart and your lung space. So just make sure that you're seated in a way that's comfortable for you. You can close your eyes, or just soften your gaze, and begin by letting your breath settle into your belly and taking a couple slow, mindful breaths. And take your next inhale through the nose and exhale out through the mouth, releasing through the jaw, softening through the chest. And do that one more time, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, releasing, softening through the jaw, through your upper body. So let's begin by taking the left hand onto the top of the right shoulder, onto the trapezius, and pressing into the top of the shoulder, this muscle, with your fingertips. Maybe feeling any knots there, or whatever you feel there. And now let the fingers press down into the top of the shoulder. Let your left shoulder release down at the same time. Let your left arm relax. And you can apply some pressure into your fingertips, down into the top of the shoulder. And you can begin to circle your fingers into this area. And you can also hook your thumb and fingers underneath the muscle and work it out that way. And you can move your head and your neck with this. It's creating some space through the traps, up into the neck, maybe down into the rest of the shoulder. And then you can work your fingers toward your shoulder blade. And kind of tracing into the insertion into the shoulder blade. Like you're pushing the muscle out, so you're creating space through the muscle. And then you can release. If you have a mirror, this would be a place to look that your right shoulder might be lower than your left already. So let's take the right hand onto the top of the left shoulder. And first using the fingertips, so I'm using the pads of the index, middle, and ring fingers. Pressing into the top of the shoulder. You can circle the fingers around, just exploring initially. And now let's press the fingers down directly into the center of the muscle, the top of the upper trapezius. And let your right shoulder, your right arm relax down as well. And then apply some pressure down through your fingertips. And now you can begin to circle the fingertips as you continue applying pressure down. And now you can begin to hook the thumb and fingers beneath the muscle. And you can move your head with this. Feeling into the rotation of the neck. Whatever helps you open up and just feel into this area. Your exhales can help you release any tension, letting the breath settle into the belly. And now let's work the fingertips toward the shoulder blade. Like you're opening the muscle up and getting into the insertion into the shoulder blade and working up to the tip of the shoulder blade. And now you can release your right hand down. Maybe you feel some space already. I know I do. Now let's take the left fingers onto the right side of the sternum or the breastbone. And it depends on your body. Maybe you can feel your ribs, maybe not. And here you can begin to use more bone touch. So you're kind of pressing down through the bones of the tips of your fingers rather than the pads that we were doing on the tops of the shoulders. So focusing on pressing through the bones. So we're working in toward the ribs. And I'm just staying here alongside the sternum, pressing into this. Notice if you're pressing into one finger more than the other, and you can just change that. So pressing, if you're pressing more into the index finger, you're up closer underneath the collarbone, feeling if there's more tension underneath any one of your fingers more than any other. And now let's begin to work the fingers out. So we're opening the pec out away from the sternum. Keep breathing. Kind of clawing the fingers out. And maybe they don't slide. I'm not really sliding the fingers, just moving them out, creating space, opening up the pec muscle. And all the way out to the shoulder. You can also be sliding the index finger beneath the collarbone, opening up that space. And let's take this all the way into this lung 1 point. So it's a couple fingers underneath the collarbone toward the shoulder and into the soft tissue, into the inside of the shoulder. And you can just circle your fingers into this point. And at the same time, feel how this opens the right shoulder up and back. This is such a common place to get closed off, is this space. And particularly through this lung point. And so here we're creating more space through the upper lungs and for the heart as well. And go ahead, release your left hand down. Again, feeling perhaps your right shoulder, there's more space. It's lower from the ear than the left shoulder. Now let's do this on the other side. Taking the right fingertips, lining them to the inside of the sternum. And imagine that you're kind of pressing down through the bones of the tips of the fingers, down through the muscles, into the space between the ribs. Feel where your breath wants to move here. I feel my breath expand more through my lower ribs. And now keep moving the fingers out, massaging as you do it. You can take more time if there's a spot that feels like it wants more attention. Maybe you feel more tension through one finger more than any other. If it helps you to open up, you can move your head a little bit with this. It's creating space through the pec and making sure that you're using your index finger underneath the collarbone to open up this space. And working the fingers all the way out toward the shoulder. Continue moving the fingers all the way into the lung 1 point on the left side. So a couple fingers underneath the collarbone, just to the inside of the shoulders, and then circling your fingers here. And it's up to you how it feels for you. You can work intuitively. If you want to make a big circle and you're working a little more superficially, or if you want to aim down in and the circle goes deeper in. Kind of like imagining like an acupuncture needle. Feeling your breath move and feeling this space open up. That is so common to get closed off. Go ahead, release your right hand down. Take a couple breaths here and notice if you feel any more ease in your breath. Ease through the heart, through the shoulders, also through the neck, through the jaw. Let's take this down into the lung 7 point. So this is lining up from the thumb, about 2 fingers in. You can use your index finger, middle finger, your thumb to circle into this point. I kind of like holding my wrist and then using my thumb to circle into this point so I can be relaxed through my body. And as you're circling on this point, just noticing if your breath smooths out anymore. The sensations that you feel in this point and maybe up from this point, through the arm, perhaps into your chest, or maybe just directly into the point. And now let's do the lung 7 point on the other side. This is a great point to regulate your breath and your nervous system tone. And it's often used for stress, tension, or emotional holding because the lungs are related with our ability to let go and also let in. But we need to exhale to be able to inhale, right? They work together. Let's come to heart 7 point. So it's lined up from the pinky finger, so the heart meridian's running up this way. You can circle using your index finger or using your thumb. I'm using my fingers to support my wrist and circling with the thumb. This is a really great point for stress and anxiety, and it's directly related with calming the nervous system. Maybe you feel tension in this point, maybe up through this line of your arm. I'm kind of feeling in my elbow right now. And let's do it on the other side. This can help settle racing thoughts or any emotional agitation. And really, it's just great to feel centered and present. And notice if you tense up elsewhere, through the channel or even up through your chest, your heart, letting yourself relax. Now let's switch again, taking the right hand onto the left wrist and massage up. So I'm just going to thumb my way up through the heart meridian. I know I always get a little caught up around my elbows. So massaging up around the elbow. Again, if there's ever a sweet spot that's asking for more attention, you can take some extra time there, making this your own. And then moving up and massaging into the inside of your bicep. And keep moving all the way up into the arm and into the armpit, getting into heart 1. You can let your left shoulder, your left arm release down as you circle into this point. Maybe it's just enough that your fingers are there. You can always hook your thumb if that feels a little easier to do. And this is a nice way to also bring some awareness into the sides of the ribs, into the side of the heart. And go ahead, release. Just feel any difference. Maybe feeling your left shoulder a little lower. Let's take it to the right side, massaging up through the heart channel. Just feeling into this connection of these tissues. Taking time where there feels like there's more blockage. And always noticing if you start holding up anywhere as you're doing this, and letting this work that we're doing continue to integrate through the body. So the shoulders are relaxed, the chest is relaxed. And then let's move up through the inside of the bicep, massaging into the heart channel, up through the bicep, and then continuing to take it all the way up into the armpit. And again, you can circle your fingers, your thumb into this point, into the area of this point, and letting the shoulders release down at the same time. Maybe it's enough that you just have some weight and some pressure into that point without circling. Whatever feels right for you. This can be really sensitive for people. Now go ahead, release your hands down onto your knees. Let your eyes close if they aren't already. And you can place one or both hands on your chest and notice the rhythm of your breath and feel the subtle energy moving through your heart, your lungs, and their meridians. And let me know how this practice felt for you in the comments. Do you feel more space through your shoulders, your chest, your arms, your heart, or your lungs? And to deepen your practice, pair this with the Chaturanga tutorial I have and a 10-minute Chaturanga practice to take this heart and lung focus into motion. And use my 5-element self-nourishment guide for daily meridian and elemental support for your mind, body, and your energy. I have that linked in the description. And subscribe for more meridian yoga and somatic and holistic practices. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. I'll see you in the next video.